Hello, Prof. The title of my dissertation is Appraisal of Power Infrastructure Management in Lagos, Nigeria, and it's my honor and delight to present this to you. Background to the study. One of the central aspects of a nation's economic development is the availability of stable power supply. Challenges in generation and distribution of power ranks among the primary infrastructure challenges in Lagos and Nigeria generally. Omo et al. 2019. Specifically in the year 2016, 39% of Nigerian population, about 74 million, did not have access to electricity due to inefficient production and distribution of energy by energy sector firms during 2019. The low number of electricity generating plants, coupled with inadequate electricity distribution infrastructure, has meant that energy sector firms need to put in place measures to address this status. Moving forward, statement of problem. The foundation of economic growth and development is built on stable and reliable supply of electricity because most industries and sectors of the economy depend on power to sustain their operations. One of the leading infrastructural challenges in Lagos, Nigeria, is the issue of frequent power outages and unreliable supply of electricity. There are several reasons that have been attributed to this, and this includes privilege of resources, corruption, and operational inefficiencies, especially among the energy sector firms in Lagos, Omo 2019. 3 items have been identified as problems, and this includes limited adoption of quality management standards, lack of awareness on the importance of departmental integration and work management. Moving forward, research objective. The specific research objectives of this study are formulated based on the stated broad aims, and this includes to ascertain, explore, and examine the quality management standards measures that are adopted by power infrastructure management in Lagos, Nigeria, and how the stated practice influences the nature of operations management among energy sector firms. 2. To evaluate and establish the factors associated with departmental integration and adoption of technologies among the power infrastructure firms in Lagos, Nigeria, and how the stated practice influences the nature of operations management across energy sector firms. And to examine and establish the factors associated with effective work management, employee involvement, and information sharing among power infrastructure firms in Lagos, Nigeria. Moving forward, research questions. The research questions has incorporated 3 comprehensive and strategic research questions, as shown thus. 1. To what level do the power infrastructure firms in Lagos, Nigeria implement quality management standards, measures to enhance operational management? 2. How are the different departments and technologies integrated among the power infrastructure firms in Lagos, Nigeria, and to what extent does the current departmental and technology integration optimize or delimit management in the energy sector firms? And 3, how does work management approach employed by the power infrastructure firms in Lagos, Nigeria influence the operational efficiency? Moving forward, significance of study. The research study is expected to have considerable significance for the practice of efficient operations management strategies with respect to implementations of quality management standards, departmental and technology integration, as well as application of effective work management plans. Essentially, the value of the study is to highlight and describe how the challenges experienced by power infrastructure firms in Lagos, Nigeria can be addressed from operations management focus. The value of the present study also extends to industry regulators, economic policy makers, and relevant government regulators, agencies, who have direct interest in efficient operations of energy sector firms. In essence, the findings of the research is expected to generate significant contribution and input to the current energy sector firms, which need to be implemented with and operating management focus. Moving forward, theoretical literature to constitutional framework. The theoretical literature is guided by the conceptual framework depicted in Fig 1, which is based on the premise that the current challenges faced by the power infrastructural firms in Lagos, Nigeria can be addressed by targeting the operations management aspect. Moving forward, we have Figure 1, which is conceptual framework of power infrastructural management, and it has three constructs comprising quality management standard, which is made up of TQM, lean management, Six Sigma, and departmental and technology integration, comprising departmental integration, technology adoption, goal synchronization, and work management, which comprises employee involvement, total productive maintenance, TPM, employee selection and recruitment, employee training / appraisal, and employee succession planning. The three constructs has dovetailed into increased operational productivity on a parallel line, on a horizontal line, which has in turn dovetailed into consistent power supply and access to electricity, which is the benchmark of our study. Moving forward, management theories applied. There are various theories which are important in examining how quality management standards, work management, and departmental integration promote operational management efficiency. This includes 1. Resource-based theory of resource management. 2. Hesbeck management theory of motivation. 3. Organizational theory of management. 4. Technology acceptance model. Moving forward, we have the knowledge gaps. Knowledge gaps based on empirical literature review. The outcome based on the analysis of the empirical literature review evidence depicts that there are substantial knowledge gaps with respect to how quality management standards, work management, department and technology integration influence operational efficiency in power infrastructural firms. Moving forward to Table 1, we have the summary of knowledge gaps based on analysis of the empirical literature review. Actually, I have 9 gaps, but for the purpose of this presentation, I've presented 3, made up as follows. 1 is Beshita and Beshita 2010. Topic is improving productivity of firm performance with enterprise resource planning. The gap is that the limitation of the study is that it fails to address how technology adoption influences the extent of departmental integration. Next is Dowda et al. 2014, and the topic is Perceived Service Quality of Electricity Supply in Nigeria, a survey of manufacturers in Kakuri Industrial Estate, Kaduna. The gap is that it fails to explain how total quality management practice is associated with operations management efficiency. Next is Marengasia and Bovania, 2015, and the topic is relationship between employee involvement and lean management manufacturing and its effect on performance in a rigid condition, continuous process industry. And the gap is that the empirical study fails to identify how specific employee engagement strategies and other effective human resources management practices. Moving forward, the next is research methodology. The research methodology presents a framework for answering the 3 broad research questions. Research approach is by quantitative and qualitative approach. Population sampling. Study population is employee of the 6 power infrastructure firms in Lagos metropolis. Sample method is random sampling / snowballing approach. And the size of sample is 312 junior / senior and top executive senior management staff of the power infrastructure firms in Lagos. Data collection / interview is by structured questionnaire, Zoom, and online interview. Moving forward, we have the variable measurements. The survey sought to measure the 5 critical constructs comprising quality management standards and technology management. This has been applied to the questionnaire, which has been prepared for each of them, which is the basis for the questions and answers. Moving forward, we have correlation of results. Here is the sample of configuration for age brackets. The age brackets of the respondents is between 20 to 75, as shown on this table and graph. Next is sample configuration for participants, where the 94.7% Nigerians and 5.3 non-Nigerians who participated. Next is the sample of the composition of the power infrastructure 6 firms that participated. Next is summary of statistics description comprising quality management standards and technology integration. Their mean and standard deviation has been properly shown. Next is summary of the thematic subjects, operations management, comprising 6 Sigma quality management and scheduled maintenance. Next is summary of broad themes on human resources management, comprising recruitment practice, performance evaluation, training program, and team bonding. Next is summary of the OLS linear assessment test, comprising operation management and the operation management technology integration. Multivariate regression. The operations management multivariate regression model was estimated by using SPSS software, and its summary of the results are presented in table 9 below. The most important statistics of the multivariate linear regression is that the coefficient of the determination adjusted R squared, which is 0.99933, which captures the forecasting and explanatory strength of the estimated model. The high adjusted coefficient of determination indicates that the 4 exogenous factor variable that measures the power infrastructure firms' quality management standards, productive management, and human resources management and technology integration explain 93% of the variation in operation management efficiency across the energy sector firm in Lagos, Nigeria. Moving forward, we have the table for the multivariate regression analysis. Next is implication for management practice. The study findings have an efficacious consequence for the current management practice that is adopted to manage the performance of the power infrastructure firms in Lagos, Nigeria. The primary implication of the study is that the focus on addressing the challenges of frequent power outage should be guided by a multi-perspective, comprehensive framework that includes operations management, process improvement, work management, and technology integration. The current practice on work management structure is also highly susceptible to political machinations, which implies that it can adversely affect staff motivation and extreme cases contribute to employee turnover. Ikejemba, 2017. Moving forward, conclusions. The study explores the challenges of power infrastructure management among the 6 energy sector firms that operate in Lagos, Nigeria. The research inquiry undertook a multi-pronged approach by focusing on how, from an operational management perspective, the current quality management standards, implementation, work management structure, and technology integration contribute to the suboptimal performance of energy sector firms. The conclusion based on the quantitative, thematic, and statistical analysis is that the stated 3-factor aspects had a substantial influence in explaining the low productivity of the power generation and transmission firms in Lagos. Specifically, the high adjusted R squared, 0.9, indicates that the current practice of quality management, personnel management, and departmental integration expunge considerable level of productivity challenges that are currently affecting the energy sector firms in Lagos, Nigeria. The conclusion is that strategies need to shift from the lens of unidirectional approach to targeting the quality management, work management, and technology integration. The study acknowledges that overall management awareness and appreciation of the process improvement and quality management techniques such as total quality management, Lean Six Sigma, and CQI is very low. The power generation and transmission firms in Lagos is deeply affected by this. The productivity influence of the power infrastructure firms in Lagos can be attributed to the organizational failure to adopt scheduled maintenance or planned preventive maintenance of the power infrastructure plants. Furthermore, recruitment and promotion of employees is guided by political whims, nepotism, and tribal inclination. This appears to be supported by the insightful finding by Abanihi 2018, who also contended that political machinations have substantially influence in determining employee sector recommendations. The proposed suggestion to improve the power infrastructure management and address the challenges of poor productivity performance resulting in frequent power blackout should result in a review of current national energy policy and management practice. The first recommendation that should be relevant for both the current policy and management practice is that an ideal action plan to enhance the productivity of energy sector firms should adopt a multi-pronged framework. This means that when addressing such systematic organization-wide challenges, the problem of production inefficiency can only be effectively addressed by taking a broad perspective that draws insightful covers to the loopholes from various areas. Abanihi 2018. From a management perspective, the study recommends that the power infrastructure firms should integrate process improvement and quality management standards. Specifically, the power infrastructure firms are likely to experience substantial productivity and financial gains by rolling out total quality management and QCI, lean production, and Six Sigma approach. IPE 2018. The power infrastructure firms in Lagos, Nigeria should also consider restructuring their corporate governance structure to raise the public reputation. A key theme from the interview with the managers related to the fact that the international funding agencies and federal government agencies are apprehensive of the negative image of the organization. Therefore, adopting measures that will strengthen the corporate governance by having an independent audit and ethics committee that will mitigate embezzlement of the fund will be a good plan. The expectation is that the enhanced public image of the energy sector firm will go a long way in gaining trust of the international funding agencies, which will ensure that the technical advisory and financial assistance is forthcoming. Emovon 2018. Strength of the research. The findings and insightful outcome from the study is built on a solid methodological foundation. The outcome of the research, together with the findings and conclusion, are drawn based on a mixed research design. The mixed research design entails the application of qualitative and quantitative insight from the interviews of the 12 managers and 300 employees of the 6 infrastructure firms. The study's findings are also based on the strong sampling and foundation with respect to the selection of power infrastructure firms in Lagos, Nigeria. The generalization of the findings is strengthened by the fact that all the 6 energy sector firms in Lagos, Nigeria were represented in the sample. Research limitations. Despite the highlighted merits of research, the findings of the study are also likely to be restricted by several limitations. The use of thematic analysis to evaluate the quantitative response of participants has its own drawback. However, the potential subjectivity using the insight from the thematic analysis was addressed by counter-checking the derived broad themes with insight from the systematic review of relevant literature as suggested by Emerson, 2015. Research direction. Using a sample of managers and employees drawn from the 6 energy sector firms in Lagos, Nigeria, the study was able to obtain conclusion on the key challenges that affect the power infrastructure firms. The next step, which is part of the mixed research direction, is that prospective studies should explore whether the same issues also apply across the country. The implication is that the prospective feature studies should examine the challenges of the power infrastructure firms in Nigeria using the insight from participants drawn from all the 29 power infrastructure firms in Nigeria. Expanding the scope of the study is expected to present a different perspective and additional insight with respect to the research topic, given that the 23 firms are subjected to different conditions. The corporate governance status of the 6 energy firms was never integrated as part of a comprehensive multi-pronged approach to the solution of the energy sector challenges. Therefore, prospective research should consider examining how the current corporate governance structure of power infrastructure firms affect their performance and ability to obtain technical and financial assistance. The research gaps were also identified. There's need to address by prospective studies. Thank you for your audience.